snacks.
What it do, snackers, snack X's? It's your boy Gage. I'm here with Jokes. I'm here with Sin. And you are now tuned in to Loaded Snacks Weekly, where we get together once a week and we talk about all the things that are happening in pop culture. And today, Star Wars Celebration.
Star Wars.
Man, we got things to talk about. What's up, Doc? What's up, Doc? Can we rock? Yeah, it might be a long show. Might be a long show.
Well, good,
hope
Heather.
Everyone's doing well. Hope everyone had a good holiday over the weekend. Heather, how are you? Yeah, guys.
See,
We're gonna do the regular intro, the rigmarole, because that's what we do. But it was a busy weekend, was it not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You okay, Sin?
Recovering?
Preparing to laugh at you, sir. That is.
Okay. Get that out of the way. We get started.
Look, before we go too far, Jokes, you have a job to do. So if you would, please. What's up, Kai?
Hey, Candy.
Jokes is gonna get that Beacons link up for you all. And while he's doing that, Sin, you have a job to do.
Yes, so let's shout out our top tier patrons, starting with Anthony Cunningham, Marcus Houston, Susan Deutsch, Tyrone Carson, Particular Skin, Alex Lee, and Ellis Mbe. Thank you very much. We truly, truly appreciate this.
That is an absolute fact. We truly do. Those patrons are patrons of ours on Patreon, which you can get to by going to the link that Jokes just shared, which is our Beacons link, which has the links to all of our socials, including our newest endeavor into socials, which is on kick.com. J. Robert Deans, what's up? Hey, listen,
Book to finish.
listen, hope you're well too. Hope you had a great weekend. You get that book finished, my man. Yeah, if you shoot on over to the Beacons, you can find all our links. You will also find there, it's been rearranged a little bit, but there is a direct link to our merch website, which does in fact show our new Loading Snacks versus Autism shirts for 2023. Again, any of those purchases that you make of the shirts or the hoodies, there are stickers, mug, any of that stuff, the proceeds are all going to the Organization for Autism Research. So, by all means, please go over there, check those shirts out, grab a shirt. If you do so, feel free to take a picture and post it. If you're not comfortable posting it, feel free to just send it to one of us, DM it to us or something like that. We'd love to put something together so we can do that. You're absolutely right, J. Robert Deans.
Me too.
Are you gonna be at Big Lick Comic-Con, J. Robert Deans, this weekend? Let me know about that. That takes care of the majority of the rigmarole. Star Wars Celebration was in London this weekend. There were a lot of announcements. A lot of announcements.
Okay.
Hey, listen. Cuddy, you didn't happen to be the guy sitting next to Sin blowing kisses at the screen at the Mario movie.
It definitely was not. It definitely was not him.
It wasn't Cuddy.
It wasn't Cuddy. Oh, trust me, I'd have called him out if it was.
In the middle of the movie.
Cuddy, I appreciate you listening to that Spoiler Boys. That's that love. There's a lot of Spoiler Boys that went up on one day. Mandalorian. There's probably not. I mean, look, if you can get stepped on at a convention,
pretty sure
we'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
Man. So, Jokes. Did you watch any of the live Star Wars Celebration?
I didn't get to watch a lot of it live, so I pretty much caught like a lot of things on like Instagram, and like reels, like little small form factor pieces of it, and then from there, just kind of going and watching some trailers and little small things as they came out throughout the show.
Got you. Cindy, did you catch any of it live?
I didn't catch a piece of it. I barely know anything that happened because I dove into my hero this weekend, and that was it. So I was completely tuned out. So I'm glad we're talking about this now because I know they put out the Ahsoka trailer, and I saw the lineup for the movie slate. But that's it. I didn't watch the trailer because I figured we'd probably watch it here. So,
it could refer to Tootsie Pop. Hey, listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know why that's what it's called. I assume it has something to do with Virginia, and that's just because
I know
that's just what I assume. Oops, and did it again. No, he hasn't yet. It's coming, I'm sure. When's Otakon?
Is that July?
Something like that. Otakon.
It's coming. He's ready. He got his step money. We're gonna put together a GoFundMe to get Sin stepped on as possible.
You know what? I appreciate that, brother. Thank you.
Hey, listen, bro. I'm
Bruh,
down.
I bet you they're gonna charge more than what you did that first time.
We'll find them.
Yep, July 28th through 30th.
All right, so let's get into some of the news. I did watch some of it live. It was on, it's London, so the time was very different. So I'm up at like 6 a.m. watching them do live, conversations with all of these people who are now forever ingrained in Star Wars history.
Mm-hmm.
Before I forget, they did announce that next year is going to be in Japan. Star Wars Celebration is Japan 2025. Is it 2025?
2025, yeah.
Yep, you're right. So I guess that gives time to put the little package together and shoot on over there. I'm gonna say that there was a lot of news that is big news. I don't know if anything had as much conversation.
Have a good evening, J. Robert.
Take it easy, man. Around it as Daisy Ridley coming back to reprise her role as Rey in a new Star Wars movie.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming you heard this, and I know you heard it, Jokes, because you shot out a text like almost immediately, like Daisy Ridley's coming back, and I don't know if that was like because you were excited or if you're just like, what was it? Tell me.
I don't think excited was the word. Now let me. I shared the post and was kind of like, I don't know. But then you said something that listen, I wasn't a fan of the sequel trilogies. Now I think it was you, J. Robert Deans, and I believe one other person, made up a couple good points that I don't know if this one that's coming necessarily is going to be a part of a new trilogy or if this is going to be kind of like I think it's just one individual movie.
And I'll get into that. It's not a trilogy, not so technically.
So that made me feel a little bit better. And then when you and J. Robert Deans, of course, were like, this could be the redemption. Maybe if, let's say this is, I think they said it's like at least 5 years or something like that. Something set between it and with the last of the sequel trilogy. So that had me thinking that maybe they could do the character a little more justice. The only side of it to me is the fact that at the end of it, she named herself Rey Skywalker, which to me still feels like somehow this is still going to be in that realm. But my hope is somehow...
When you say in that realm, you mean like the Skywalker story is supposed to be over and this would entail...
Should start something new, which is I hope that would be more of the direction that we go into. Obviously with Luke, don't get me wrong, he is one of the best Jedi that there is, and I'm sure we'll see like Force Ghosts, things like that. I'm cool with that, but I don't necessarily want it to be another entry into the Skywalker saga.
So here's what I can tell you about it. Again, we don't know a lot. Mm-hmm. So they brought Daisy on stage.
Hey, mama.
Hey.
She will be reprising her role as Rey. She will be a Master Jedi, and this film takes place 15 years after the rise of Skywalker. So while it does mean that in a sense it is the next film, it's only one of 3 films. Those other films aren't, at least currently, not set to revolve around Rey. I think that there's a possibility, a really good possibility. I think Rey as a character is a really dope character. I think that there's a lot to explore with Rey. And oh man, let me tell you how the internet was on fire about bringing Kylo Ren back. Like,
I did see that.
this,
I didn't see none of this.
they were on it, which I think is terrible. I mean, they could do it, but it's basically her focusing on rebuilding the Jedi Order.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that there's my issues with the sequel trilogy. What's up, Perk? Really revolve more around the broken storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the actors or how well they did in the roles or any of that kind of stuff. I was actually cool with all of them. I liked a lot of those characters a lot. I just think the storytelling was broken, and I think part of the reason why that storytelling was broken is because they had different directors and writers.
Mm-hmm.
And so it just didn't feel, for something that is supposed to be 1, 2, 3 in order, it just was really broken.
Yeah.
And so there are a lot of things I feel like that just didn't hold up or didn't make a lot of sense. I don't hate the sequel trilogy the way a lot of people do. It definitely has some issues, but I do think that as a character and as an actress, I think Daisy really should get, like, Star Wars is the kind of, it's a franchise that, like, honestly, it makes mistakes all the time. And they redo, they exactly. There's problems with all stuff. They adjust things, redo things, change things to fit what they feel like makes the most sense at the time. Their 2 biggest mishaps are probably Jar Jar Binks and Snoke, for real. I feel like they're making an attempt to fix the Snoke issue in television right now on Disney Plus.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this movie gives an opportunity for them to fix what's going on with Rey. Now, the second film is supposed to delve specifically into the story of the very first Jedi to wield the Force.
Mm-hmm.
So it's gonna be set way
before, and I love that.
Yeah. Like, not a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, but like a long
far away.
Long time ago. In a galaxy far away. Perp says the way George Lucas talks about Yoda, it seems like a last minute thing he threw in there when making the original trilogy. Look, it's totally possible that him and Frank Oz, just being good buddies, were like, you know what, let me give you a little something to put in here, because Frank Oz's characters between Fozzie Bear, Yoda, and Aughra from the Dark Crystal are basically all the same person in different MCU timelines. And then the third film is supposed to be set in the present, and it's supposed to deal with an escalating war between what is being called the Imperial Remnant and a fledgling New Republic. So even though they are doing 3 films, guess you could call it a trilogy, but they're not. They're taking place in completely different time frames.
Mm-hmm.
At least it seems like it. So I think that's important. I think it's cool that she's getting an opportunity to come back and kind of redeem that character. I do really think that character is, I do think Rey is a special character. So we'll just see. We'll see what they do. I want to watch a trailer.
Yes.
Hey, go ahead for a
Knew
trailer.
it. I knew it, Sam.
Yes.
I knew this is what you was waiting for.
No, I'm actually glad about the stuff you just said. Like I didn't know that stuff. Like when he said the thing, Ripley's back or whatever, and I was whatever. Like I felt absolutely zero seeing her come back. But now knowing what the movie's actually about, okay, I care. I care more now with her 15 years in the future trying to establish a Jedi Order again. Okay, I like that
I
idea.
agree, perfect.
And the other ones you were mentioning, I'm feeling a lot better, I would say, than I was before.
Visions Volume 2.
Vision
does
Volume
look
2
fire.
looks absolutely
Hey, look,
amazing.
I didn't
Before
see
we
that.
get into that,
I didn't hear
Yeah.
that.
That's a whole. Well,
we have to deal with this.
Okay.
Something's coming. Something dark. I sense it.
I'm so ready for this.
this is I am amped for it.
Bee. That's dope.
For some-
This is like
War. For others, power.
It's been a while. Things have changed. I started hearing whispers about Thrawn's return as heir to the Empire. We have to prepare for the worst. The Jedi fell a long time ago. There aren't many left.
Perhaps it is time to begin again.
man, look,
And that joint's gonna be lit.
man, listen.
That joint gonna be fire.
August, bruh.
Not too far out. That's
Let
like
me say something. They bet not mess this up.
this is the like this is
You-
this
Don't
is
get Boba Fett
the
this.
one. Sir, we will not speak that into existence.
No.
You
No. I'm
do
putting that
not
out there.
do
Don't
that.
you dare. Don't you dare fet this one up. Mm-mm.
Listen, the potential is like off the rip for this. Like, this is the culmination of what people have been waiting for with after Rebels. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, what happened to all of these characters?
Yes.
What are they doing? Where is
Bringing it alive.
Grand Admiral Thrawn? And if Thrawn is around, Ezra got to be around.
Somewhere,
That's all
yeah.
I'm saying. In my high pitched voice.
I mean,
That's all I'm
he
saying.
was there in the little holographic projection they were talking to him. Pretty sure that was him.
You think so?
I'm more than certain that's him.
You're more than certain. Because that's a
Yes.
special kind of statement.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
more than certain. Nah,
Yeah.
because like looking at the outfit, at least it looks like that of what he wore in Rebels.
You mean when all like 5 of the people were there on screen?
No,
Like you
so
talking about,
I'm
like,
not
there were,
sure
like, 5 of
who.
them in a hollow projection.
No, it was just him. They were talking to
Oh.
him like on a little small panel, like underneath. You didn't see who was necessarily talking to him, but you just see him like standing there, and it may not be a they were communicating back and forth. That may have just been like a recording they were watching of him. But I'm pretty sure that was him.
I mean, look, to be honest with you, at this point, you kind of can't do this and bring Thrawn back and not do.
Bring him.
yeah.
You kind of have to.
Yeah.
I just
So
feel
I'm-
bad. I feel bad for folks that didn't watch Rebels. Like,
I don't feel bad for. Listen, here's why. One of the beautiful things about what Disney Plus is it's all there.
mhm.
Anybody who's unfamiliar or doesn't know, anybody who's into it enough who saw these trailers and was like, yo, there's plenty of people out there going, watch Rebels. And they got plenty of time to watch Rebels between now and August.
Rebels and Clone Wars.
Well,
Go back and watch
right.
both of them.
Mhm.
I
Get
mean,
caught up.
looking forward to seeing this. Hopefully it doesn't disappoint like Mandalorian.
No, they do not need to release all episodes
Disney
at
needs
once.
just release all episodes at once.
No, they don't. You're gonna make people. I get it, but no, this is a good. It potentially could be a good burn week after week.
Look, we could get into the semantics of the business aspect of choosing to release all at once so people can binge versus releasing over time. I think when you have as much content as Netflix already has, releasing stuff in a binge format is perfectly okay. Because once people are in and they binge something, there's plenty of stuff in there for them to stay. Disney Plus is like, there's a lot of content there, but you either got to be in the mood for it or it's really niche because it's all their stuff. And so for them, it makes more business sense, I think, to release over time because they need to keep you in just long enough to get that first monthly payment from you. You know what I mean? And then you stuck for like another 2 weeks before you can, you know what I mean, bounce out. And it's like, well, I'm here for another 2 weeks. Now I have a whole 2 weeks left before my subscription runs out if I am going to cancel to get stuck watching something else or to find something else or to discover it. So I think that model works better for Disney Plus as a newer subscription service, a much newer subscription service compared to something like Netflix, or compared to Amazon, where Amazon really doesn't care because nobody's paying Amazon a monthly fee. You're paying them for the whole year up front and you're doing it for shipping. And they're just like, oh yeah, we got all this stuff. So here, so they just give it to you. So it's different. But I also think there's something so special about television and the week-to-week discussions that people have from episode to episode. Andrew says, I think only Star Wars related thing that was released all at one time was Visions. Right, because they're short.
Short.
Yeah. It's
no need to have that week after.
Yeah, you don't need to break that down over time. I mean, they even did that. They even did like the groups were shorts and they did them over a period of time. Like they weren't all released at once. They did like a group of them at some point, but they did it piece by piece at first. Apple TV Plus is what Disney should be at this point in the game. In what sense, Perp?
I was gonna say, what do you mean by that?
Yeah, in what sense? Because Apple TV doesn't have what Disney has in terms of ownership of content.
They have some cool original content on there, but it's not, oh, listen, here's Star Wars, and here's this multitude of things under it. Plus, we have the MCU, plus we have all this Fox stuff, plus we just have all the original Disney stuff. So
it's different. And again, the business models work differently for different people. I also think that like with stuff like this, when you're looking at something that has the kind of hardcore fan base that a Star Wars has, releasing something that is bingeable all at once ruins it for a lot of people who don't have the time or the capacity to binge all at once because spoilers are just going to be everywhere. And so it allows them to control the narrative in a way. They put out trailers for like the next episode and kind of feed people. They allow people to have FOMO. Like you didn't watch episodes 1, 2, and 3. This is where we are. Here's a little something for what's coming next and kind of get people like, dang, I'm missing it, whatever. As far as them putting out quality content, people actually tuning in week to week to watch that content. I mean, I don't think that Disney is struggling with that. I think they're doing okay. Disney just recently dropped the OG Doogie Howser. Yeah, the new one isn't bad. It actually is pretty good, and they got a new. They dropped the Doogie Howser because the new season of the new Doogie Howser like just dropped or is getting ready to drop.
Okay.
And the young lady, I can't think of her name, that stars in that is actually really good, and she's been in several other things. Disney related. Almost all of them Disney related. At least ones that I know are also all Disney related. But she's really good. Want to watch another trailer, Sam?
Yes.
All right, buddy.
Everyone has an inner light.
Follow the light.
I always knew you were meant for bigger things.
What if you just keep going?
No need to fear. There are others like you here.
I saw it myself. She has special powers.
Can you get your porta potty off the starting line?
She's a total... Exactly.
Don't be afraid.
May the Force be with you.
It's showtime. Whoa. The storm is approaching.
I can fight them. I'm strong enough now.
No one is stronger than them.
We can beat them.
You there! Hold it!
May the 4th.
We cannot choose where our calling takes us. Only whether or not to answer.
I ain't even gonna lie, bro.
I'm ready for that.
Season 2 of Visions looks absolutely every one of them, like with the different I'm interested in every single one of them.
Bruh, everyone. This first of all, this volume of Visions looks way better than the first volume.
Way better.
Way better than the first volume of Visions. Like it just. Here's the thing. I've been saying on here for years, like we've had a lot of discussions, and I've been telling y'all like the problem with Star Wars is that Jedi just stopped being cool. They just weren't cool anymore. They're working on this. Like they're really trying to push it. The episode should be longer, at least 30 minutes or more. I disagree.
No, they don't have
Listen,
to.
I disagree.
I think this is
But yeah,
doing
best
solid
original
work.
Star Wars content we've gotten in years is coming in I think in Visions. I really do.
And there's so many different things
Yeah,
they can build upon. Like all the different worlds they're showing, they got so much to build upon within.
They can
Volume
take
1 and Volume 2.
the best of it, and if they decide to make movie a full-length show or something out of, like they have all these pickings and just make the lore start. Like it makes the lore of Star Wars even deeper than what it already is.
Yeah.
And then building on that type of stuff. Like it's just this is an excellent time to be a fan of Star Wars.
That actually made me hyped to want to rewatch Visions just
Me
to
too.
just go back through it and get ready for Volume 2. Yeah.
Me too. I mean, you know, look, man, I'm even for real. The Ahsoka trailer, like the two new characters that are like, I mean, I guess they're Sith. They don't have like regular red lightsabers. Like they're like orange. It's like a whole, like I think they're getting ready to go off in a whole new space for Jedi and what Jedi are and what it means to be a Jedi. I think that a new movie with Rey has a lot of potential to touch on that, to really talk about the idea of gray Jedi. I think that there are things that they're exploring with The Mandalorian where they're talking about this sect of Mandalorians who are indeed Mandalorians who just there's the religious zealots that you can never take your helmet off, and they're the ones who are like, nah, you can take your helmet off, but like we're all Mandalorians. Like I feel like that's the direction they're going, and I feel like Jedi are going in that same direction. That they are exploring in Star Wars what we as a world are working so hard to see, which is like, nah, everybody can be welcome within this thing. You can be who you are, right? Where the idea of Jedi really forces you to be this kind of person, doing this kind of thing, living this kind of life, and that's it. You're a nun if you're a Jedi. You know
That's
what I mean?
I want to introduce a great Jedi so bad.
That's
we've been asking.
That's what I think is happening with like the idea of what they're exploring in Mandalorian as Disney, as this company, right? That is, Night Jedi will be honest. Disney as a company that's going through this whole thing. We won't get into the politics of it, but like this whole thing with DeSantis in Florida and fighting and the Don't Say Gay bill and them trying to really push this idea of embracing everyone and allowing people to be a part of the culture, whoever you are, no matter where you're from, no matter what, you know, your beliefs are, so to speak. I feel like they're injecting that directly into the characters that are in something like Star Wars, and they're using Mandalorian as the stepping stone for that, and they're going to do the same thing with Jedi. That's honestly what I believe. We need more characters who can play both protagonists and the antagonist. That makes it the best storytelling. I mean, again, right now, one of the hottest things in storytelling, period, are anti-heroes. Ahsoka fits the bill.
Yep.
What they're doing with this show with Ahsoka is perfect for what, as a company, they're aligning to do, with what that would mean for Star Wars going forward, for speaking to people and just being like, y'all are welcome here, right? As a character that walked the way, again, she is your equivalent, right, to Bo-Katan, right? This person who walked both sides, right? Like, not that Ahsoka was ever a Sith, but she was a Jedi and walked away from the Jedi because of how the Jedi treated her. Her ability to see the Jedi aren't always right. Everything they do isn't the way that things have to be done. And so the Mandalorian living by this creed of this is the way is very similar to
the Jedi Order setup.
And who are the two forces that opposed each other before they went to war? Were the Jedi and the Mandalorians. So it makes sense. And I think that it's not just what they're doing with the storytelling. I think they're doing it to mimic from a business perspective and from a current perspective what they're doing. I just think it's really smart. And I think it will make Jedi cool again because they've been weak. They've been weak. Obi-Wan is flute. And I'll say it again. Obi-Wan is flute. He walked that path. He was on that way. And even he had to learn. And it's like he could see it, but he couldn't break himself from the past that he was taught in the traditions to undo what was happening to his own Padawan right in front of him. Right? And seeing that. So even Luke at that point was like, yeah, this is all trash. Burn it.
I don't think we really know. Like, I don't think with her.
Respect? Yeah.
I don't think that's ever been explored.
Yeah, I don't know what her race is, her alien race's life expectancy is like. No idea. Could she pop up in whatever Rey is doing? Maybe.
She could be an older, like she could be one of the the wisest of them all, technically being the oldest still living, but
she could be a Force ghost, I'm sure, at some point if that's the path they decide to go down. But I think them exploring what Jedi are capable of, what kind of powers and abilities they have, writing into the canon the things that make the most sense, and removing the things that we're cool but don't. I think it's just I think it's just a good path for them.
And doing that with
so there are a couple other things.
Doing that with Ahsoka is great too. I have a female lead, running that. I like it.
Right. So you have that in her and you have that in Rey. But you also had Pedro Pascal and the Mandalorian, and now that's kind of being passed over to Bo-Katan. Right. So you're seeing that the armorer is the one who technically leads them, the Mandalorian. Like it's just there's a lot of that, right? That's happening. I need Jedi to learn how to
I mean, it's invisible. What do you mean? They use the force.
You don't see it.
It's invisible.
You just can't see.
Almighty push.
I guess if they get super ridiculously strong, you'll start to see it. Because I mean, that's kind of how I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Don't get too into that Dragon Ball Z territory, because I think that could easily go the wrong way really quick. Yeah. So
I'll be honest, I'm interested in seeing Jedi get beyond having lightsabers, something other than swords. I want to see them have other weapons besides that. That's really what I'm looking for. I would love to see it.
Or a lightsaber is their starting weapon, like that. Like this is the one that you learn stuff on, and then eventually you can move and migrate to something else.
I don't even care. I don't even think that. I mean, I just think that like swords they're swords. It's not that swords aren't cool, but like.
Hey, Sam, Gage just want one of these Jedi's to come out here with a shotgun real quick.
Nah, I mean, look, when you start exploring like the bow staff, like even in Visions, you see that one piece, that little bit of trailer where it's like, okay, she's fighting this again. I'm assuming a Sith Lord. He's got his red joint, and his is all kind of going crazy the way like Kylo's does, which means he doesn't have like a pure kyber.
Stable, yeah.
She's got a yellow or like a golden one. But at the end of it, you see her put the two hilts together.
And one, I was like, ooh,
I know, like a bow staff is really like, that's my favorite joint. So they've kind of done that before, but it's time to see them do something different. You know what I mean? And kind of take it to another level. It should become lightsabers themselves. See people's hands light up while they're fighting. That's what you want. I mean, I'm not against that. So they did also talk about a new skeleton crew, which Jude Law is in. I think this is interesting just because these are not people who are Mandalorians. They're not stormtroopers. They're not Jedi. They're just regular people who happen to get stranded and they live in this Star Wars universe. So I think it could be a cool take. It also could be really boring. We'll see.
Hey, listen, when they said what they said, the story, like what it was, and like the comparison of what they want to compare it to, when they said it just made my mind light up. Like, how do you say, oh, this is Frozen meets Kill Bill? And I'm just like,
well, no. That's not Skeleton Crew.
That wasn't Skeleton Crew?
No, that's the Acolyte.
Acolyte.
That's the Acolyte.
Either way.
Yeah, that's the Acolyte.
The two of those being remotely associated to each other, I'm kind of like,
yeah. So the Acolyte is
yeah, I want that.
Think about the Acolyte. I did watch. That was one of the things that I did watch live. They had Leslie Headland, who is like the writer / showrunner. What's up, Joe?
I did peep that.
I did notice that the blade was curved, like at the end. Listen, I'm so with it. I feel bad if Filoni had to fix the plots of sequels. I don't feel bad about that. I feel like they should have gave it to Filoni in the first place.
If they'd have done the story better, like I wouldn't have been mad at the whole Palpatine thing if the story would have kind of aligned a lot better versus just like shoehorning them in at the end.
Hey, dog, listen, I just want to know who Palpatine was sleeping with. That's all I want to know. That's all I really want to know. My man got a whole family. She's a grandchild. I just need some.
Who gave it a
clarification?
Who gave it up to Palpatine?
That's all. I'm just looking for some. I would love to get that background story.
Can I get that interview?
Leaked Acolyte trailer, feudal Japan vibe. Listen, and I'm with it. Like the Acolyte. Here's the thing: the Acolyte is supposed to be a thriller, so I'm all in.
Ooh,
right?
I like it even more.
Leslie Headland is the co-creator of what's the name of that show? It's Russian Doll.
Okay,
that's on Netflix. Like, she has some joints behind her that kind of fit that mold.
Yeah.
So the idea of her kind of bringing that and her version of storytelling to Star Wars, and the idea of it being a thriller, like again, I think that it's time for Star Wars to get. You know, Mandalorian is a Western. It was a Western.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a Western anymore.
Season 1 definitely was a Western. Yeah.
You know, but Star Wars has always been space opera, right? And so to get away from that and explore other genres and other forms of storytelling within that universe in a lot of the same ways that the MCU has been able to do, right? For us to have, you know, Captain America Civil War, which is more like a political thriller, and to have stuff that's more like an action comedy, and to have something that, you know, Ant-Man that's more like a heist movie, and to have to have these other genres and people with other writing talents and skills bring, these are still people. I think the important thing is you're not just bringing in directors or writers who have a skill in writing from a different storytelling point of view, but they're also people who are huge Star Wars fans. And that's so like it's still in the hands of people who just care really deeply about the lore and about the story. And I'm not sure that anybody quite matches Favreau and Filoni, right? But having them at the helm, that is one of the things that made me feel really good about them announcing 3 new movies, including the one with Rey in it, is that Filoni and Favreau are at the helm of those. It doesn't mean that they're writing them or that they're directing them, but Star Wars needs a Feige.
Yeah.
They need a Kevin Feige.
That's their Feige, it looks like.
The issue with the sequel trilogy is they had no Kevin Feige.
Yes.
They didn't have somebody to hold it all together and say, yes, you can do this. No, you can't
do that.
I know who you are as a director. No, you can't do that. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I feel like those movies suffer from the fact that there are a lot of egos at play of who I am as a director, and I've been waiting and I've worked my way up and earned my right to do a Star Wars movie or whatever. Get out of here with that. You know what I mean? Right now, Filoni and Favreau are our Feiges, and I got a lot of trust in them. So you're right, jokes. Frozen meets Kill Bill in the Star Wars universe. No, I don't even know how to process that.
Like, I hear Frozen. Are we talking? We gonna have some singing going on in this movie? A Kill Bill? Just people gonna be dying left and right? Or
bro, I just think
I don't know what to
know. I think it's just we're gonna take that aesthetic or whatever, and it's just gonna be revenge.
But I don't know what of aesthetic to take. That's the
problem. What part of Frozen? Like, what about Frozen?
Probably a ice planet or something. They'll be on while all this is happening at. Or something. Who knows?
I don't even want to give it that much. Personally, that makes me not excited.
No, it makes me excited because it's just two things that you wouldn't associate to each other.
No, like not at all, bro. Not at all, bro. Chocolate and bananas. It's good though, but it's like
Kill Bill, Game of Thrones with lights. But I mean,
because that's what Star Wars already is.
Yeah, Frozen has magic, so
that's what I'm saying.
Like, I mean, Jedi or magicians,
right? I mean, in a way, I don't know. What I can tell you is I'm with it. Yeah, messed up not having Filoni in charge of the sequels from the get go. They're trying to right the ship now, 100%, 100,000%. There's just like, again, I'm not gonna lie, man. Y'all know I didn't really like the first Jedi Fallen Order, but like Star Wars this weekend made me be like, dang it. I kind of have to play this new joint. I kind of have to. They brought my man on stage and I was just like, they really, like, it's canon.
It is.
I have to get involved.
They can build a snowman.
That makes me think they're going to build a snowman. Hey, listen. As long as they cut that snowman down with a lightsaber, bro. Like,
good.
But
I guess that snowman's nose will be the lightsaber. I don't know.
I don't know, man. I just think, look, Celebration was cool. I love the idea of them doing something like that every year that just kind of brings people who have a love of it together and to have a place, every 2 years to just say, here's all the stuff that's coming. Here's the announcements. Here's the trailers. Here's what's happening. And just bring people on stage so that they can actually feel the love that they don't really get. Like, a lot of those Star Wars actors and actresses don't do Comic Cons. They don't really ride that circuit the way that comic book movie people do, or that kind of thing. So Star Wars Celebration, like, every person that walked on stage was literally walking out like, dog, what is this? Like,
right?
Like, you know what I mean? Just looking at all the cosplay and seeing the lightsabers in the air, and like, it's just kind of crazy. And just being able to say anything, like saying, bro, they're making a Wookiee Jedi, bro.
Go with it.
And they brought my man on stage, dog, and he didn't do anything but be tall. Right? He was just tall. Honestly, I'm playing the old Star Wars game now. Never played it when it came out as great. Let me tell you what to do, dog. Go
Story
back
mode?
and buy both the Force Unleashed joints and play those because they are incredible.
Just make those canon.
I know, right?
Hey, Sam.
Yo.
You want to watch another trailer?
Well, why not? Let's get to it.
Popping off.
Captain Rambo?
What the hell are you doing?
Entering the jump point perimeter. I'm gonna get you some readings, Fury. Hello?
Monica.
Hello?
Captain Rambo?
Is this an Avengers test?
Where's Captain Rambo?
What the?
This is galactic as the music trailer itself.
Hi.
We're looking for Kamala Khan.
Okay, so our powers are entangled. I can manipulate light energy. And you, I could totally show you. No! Not again! Hi. Where's our daughter? Wherever you were. We're a team. Oh, no. We're not a team. We're not a team.
Yeah, I need that.
Okay. I was going to ask you for your thoughts, Sam, but I guess those are.
Yeah, that looks like
those are them.
pretty. I like the whole powers all tangled up kind of thing. Makes sense why together. They're switching through each other's little time points and everything, and the comment looks like it's going to be on point. I'm looking forward to that one.
Jokes, where you at?
I think it looks super fun. I liked how we at least got the answer to how the hell that happened at the end of Miss Marvel, of her
Sort
just
of, yeah.
randomly really just randomly showing place. At least their powers are causing the issue. So I was like, cool, little slight answer there, but we still got more questions. So I think this was a pretty good setup within the trailer, but it looks like it's going to be fine.
All right, let's do some digging. One, finally get a trailer, the music right. Correct. Looks fun for sure. 3 going to be the highlight. 100%. So
embodied.
Yeah.
That in the beginning it says saber.
Mm-hmm.
Like space station instead of sword.
Uh-huh.
So it makes me wonder, is this something that's tied to sword? Do we have something other than sword out there? Is this perhaps a different timeline? And it's not sword. Because I'm almost positive the last time we saw him, it was in fact like sword, and it was on a sword space station. The other thing is that Nick Fury? Yes.
Yes.
This comes out after Secret Invasion.
Yeah,
they
which
pushed
makes
it
me
back. So this was originally supposed to come out in July, and they pushed it back to November.
Mm-hmm.
Secret Invasion is coming out before that. So I hope it's good Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
Is that Nick Fury?
I'm pretty sure this is Nick Fury. I feel like what we're getting here is the real Nick Fury. Possibly Secret Invasion.
Yeah.
I feel like both of these are the real ones. Maybe we'll get the scroll version. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure this is real Nick Fury.
I don't know.
Why? Why are you pretty sure it's real Nick Fury? Just because you wanted to be?
No, I don't know. Granted, it's just a trailer. Just the vibe. Like, don't get me wrong. He kind of handled himself well within Far From Home. How it still seemed like it was Nick Fury. Some of those mannerisms, there were a few things that were a little off and things that were said. But this Fury feels like the real Nick Fury.
He said two things, bro. What are you talking about?
It's just.
What do you mean? You just wanted to be the real Nick Fury. You just decided that it's got to be him.
No,
because like honestly, it's completely possible, right? That like when Kamala Khan switches and shows up at the space station, could be that's Nick Fury. Could also be that when Monica goes back down to her house, that's not Nick Fury, and Monica might even know that it's just a scroll. Again, let's remember that at the end of WandaVision, it was a Skrull who came in, was acting as like an FBI agent, changed into a Skrull and said, they want you up there. Like, Nick Fury wants to speak with you. And so she left with them. So it makes sense that she would be where Nick is. But it doesn't necessarily mean that he left the space station to go find Kamala or whatever. They could have just been like, yeah, go down there, act like you're Nick Fury or whatever, and, find it. It's totally possible. But it also could be anyone.
Facts.
And we also don't know. Technically, again, the first Captain Marvel movie takes place in like 96.
Right.
We don't know exactly when this takes place in the timeline, but we know that it could be before Secret Invasion, because Kamala Khan's story already happened. And what happened at the end of her story is tied to this movie directly. Mm-hmm. So it could be that this takes place before Secret Invasion even happens.
Very possible.
They can do whatever they want.
Yeah.
They can do whatever they want. They out here. I just know MCU still has the best teasers.
Mm-hmm.
They got the best teasers.
Yeah.
And they be lying to us in them joints. So take everything with a grain of salt.
Big facts.
Because the next trailer, that joint might say sword instead of saying saber.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows?
Some of these clips won't even be in the movie.
Yeah, I mean, there are things that happen in that. I'm not going to play the trailer again, but like if you go and you watch the trailer, when you see the space station from afar, you can see the hexagonal grid. That's the same grid that like the Guardians of the Galaxy travel through when they travel from spot to spot.
Mm-hmm.
But when Monica goes up to like touch it or whatever, it doesn't look hexagonal, and it looks exactly like what she touched when she was on WandaVision.
Yeah.
Which, what does that mean? Where does it come from? And what does it have to do with time streams, whatever? And is that what caused them to start having their powers interconnected and them swapping places? Hard to say. Either way, I'm in. It looks dope.
Oh yeah. I'm looking forward to November.
Okay. So before we shut the show down, we have to talk about Super Mario Brothers movie. Because breaking all kinds of records.
Good.
And part of what I want to talk about, let me just kind of run down what's going on with it. Is that cool?
Yeah.
First?
Yeah.
So this movie had the biggest Wednesday to Sunday opening ever. Period. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
It has landed just behind Incredibles 2 for the biggest first weekend opening for an animated film in the U.S. and just behind Frozen 2 for the biggest opening internationally. Now, it has surpassed those films at this point, right? Mm-hmm. And it's at like 400 million now, right? Globally. So this movie stands to be the highest grossing animated film of all time, period. We all saw it. Spoiler Boys for it is live. If you want to see what our in-depth thoughts on the movie are, the only thing I will tell you right now is that all of us gave it a 9.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, man, I don't. Listen, that's some jokes. Jokes loves Power Rangers, so we let him talk Power Rangers. Power Rangers and wrestling, man. Hey, listen, if we can get some Power Rangers to wrestle, bruh, I don't know if Jokes will survive it.
What?
I don't know if Jokes will survive it.
Power Ranger Wrestling League? Man, he loses money.
Inside of a Gundam, dog. Like, I don't like lose it. Just lose it. Put a ring inside of a Gundam. Let the Power Rangers wreck.
Put inside white base Jokes. That do it for you?
Shut up.
Hey, Jokes, can the Power Rangers beat a Gundam?
Megazord versus a Gundam?
Yeah. Who wins? All right, you know what?
I feel I'll put a poll, but I hate to say, I'm gonna say it's gonna be the Gundam because I feel like the pilot of a Gundam doesn't have a limit. Power Rangers won't kill per se, but
Ultraman gonna punish them both. Straight up.
Yeah.
Ultraman.
Perfect, dude.
Ultraman. Hey, look perfect. Gundam. No doubt.
Yeah, it was
There's
easy.
no doubt, bruh. I don't even know why you thought about that long.
Yeah.
There's no doubt. If Power Rangers could go hard, bruh.
I can say any Gundam out of my mouth right now and it would beat him. It would beat
If
Megazord.
Power Rangers, if Power Rangers like comics were the way like the original Ninja Turtles comics were like in the comics, they went hard, bruh. Like they were ninjas from New York. Like, then you might have something.
Talk about Crumpet.
You gotta know what the Crumpet is to understand cricket. So all three of us gave the Mario movie a 9.
Yes.
I highly recommend it. If you're a Mario fan, I much more highly recommend it. If you go back as far as at least Sin and I do for Mario. Joe, you ever play the first Mario Brothers?
I think I may have started with Super Mario.
The fact that he just said I think.
No, I don't. I had at least
Super Mario 3.
I don't think I ever played 3 because I think by the time I was probably at the end of my Nintendo and I had moved to the Super Nintendo, so I don't think I ever.
Your first Mario Brothers wasn't Super Mario World on Super Nintendo?
I'm pretty it was probably it probably was the original Mario on Nintendo because I had the original Nintendo and when they got, I think it came like with some of those starter games how you could buy it and I'm pretty sure the original Mario game was one of those.
I have a feeling you played Super Mario All-Stars on Super Nintendo, which had like multiple games on the one card. It had like 4 games on one cartridge.
Nope.
No? Okay.
Definitely never got
You play Super Mario 2 though, which is not real, but is real. Or you don't know if you play Super Mario 2.
I don't know exactly. I'm almost certain it was the original. Never finished it, but I'm almost certain it was the original.
All right. Look, if you go back that far, or you don't, this movie hits like across the board.
Yeah.
What I really want to talk about though, they're actually finally using the kill words. I mean, are they gonna kill something, Jokes?
Well, the trailer already they killed Trini, so
of course.
So I was just surprised how they handled that, but the fact that just like I said, using the word kill within the confines of Power Rangers, it could be a little darker than what typically it would normally be.
All right, you might be right, Jokes. We're gonna talk about this Mario thing, but we gotta address what just was said. Kingdom Hearts does not deserve an animated anything. It needs to be redone from scratch so that it makes sense.
Dog, get rid of all these
Kingdom Hearts
so convoluted.
Worse than Star Wars. It's terrible.
Kingdom Hearts 2.5 HD remix times 3 plus 4. Like what?
Stop it. Just stop it. Here's what I find the most interesting. If you go to Rotten Tomatoes right now, Super Mario Brothers movie has an audience score of 96%. Critic score is a 57.
Doesn't surprise me.
Listen,
I don't.
And you know what, Perp? If the lore makes sense to you, I'm happy.
You are awesome
for you. I know that the Kingdom Hearts fans know what's going on. For the rest of us, we just wanted Final Fantasy and Mickey Mouse in Final Fantasy. The messiest timeline ever. It's terrible.
You put the two of them together. It was like, oh, I'm good.
So the rest of us just wanted Final Fantasy with Mario. I mean Mario. I'm talking about Mario. With a little, I can even take some Goofy and a little bit of Donald, but Mickey, man, the Heartless. I'm not with it. Why do you think the critic score is so low compared to the audience score for this movie?
Because they're out of touch, all the old ones at least. You know what I mean? I just think that's what it is. I just think they're out of touch with what we want to see, what we're excited about. Like, I don't think any of them grew up playing Mario like we did and nothing like that. You know, they looked at it as a silly game or something like that or brushed it off. You know what I'm saying? And we finally get the movie that Mario deserves, you know what I mean? And it has everything we wanted in a Mario game packed into the movie, with a cool story, some great voice acting. Like they hit it on all cylinders. I just think to them it just doesn't resonate with them. They don't get it. They want some boring, like we said with the Oscars come out, those boring movies that you never hear about, but they're getting recommended, stuff like that. I think it ties into that. Just they're not in tune with the stuff that we like, the critics.
Jokes?
Similar, like I would like, I may do this afterwards. Is kind of go look and see what Rotten Tomatoes scored a lot of other animated movies, but maybe things that were just made by Illumination. I don't know if like Despicable Me and some of those were like in the same boat as far as the critic scores, because like I just don't see, even if you aren't that into Mario and knowing a lot of the little small things that they took care to detail throughout the movie, if it was just because if it was animated and things like, is that why you guys scored it like that? Like, I'm just eager to know. I would like to know what their criteria is that they go to basis on, other than just watching it and whether you enjoyed it, it was something stupid about it, or whatever. Like, I would like to know where that falls with them. Because to me, it just seems like they're just hating on it. Like, they just wanted to hate on this movie so bad for no reason.
I mean, it's hard to really say, right? I don't think... I do disagree a little bit with you guys. I said, but if you've been paying attention to the actual story, you realize it's a bigger picture. Hey, man, I'm not paying attention to the Kingdom Hearts story because it's not good.
Oh, and the thing is, I should at least with Kingdom Hearts play 1, 2, and 3 and know what's going on. But then if I go to 3 and it's just completely far off from what the second one is,
that thing is confusing. Period.
Here's where I'm at. I think I think you hit on part of it, Sin, where you talk about like movies that get like critically acclaimed, but they're not the movies that make a lot of money in the theater. Like, they don't necessarily have the spectacle or the punch or whatever it is that people are looking for when they go to the theater or whatever, right? So like, you know, an MCU movie does gangbusters, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just sells all kinds of tickets and people are going to see it and, you know, whatever. And then you have smaller movies that tell a great story, that are really good and have a lot of heart and maybe, you know, pull at your heartstrings and make you cry or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
And it's done maybe on like a lower budget and has, you know, whatever. And people are like, yo, this is a movie people really need to go see. This is really good, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like the new movie, I can't think of the name right now, but the new movie that like Florence Pugh was in. Great, right? But like, it's a kids movie. And for a long time, what we've been fed, I think, with kids movies is the Disney formula of kids movies. And even the formula that like Illumination has followed with movies like Despicable Me and stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
are movies that always have this kind of heart. Like Frozen could make you cry, right? Toy Story is gonna make you cry, right? So there's always these life lessons that are learned and these kind of, deeper kind of. Mario's not like that.
No.
It's not like that at all. It's just a really good time.
Yeah.
Action and moving. It's
comedy,
funny,
yeah.
You know what I mean? And it has a great resolution at the end. And there's a little something in there in terms of like that little bit between Mario and his father. And his father like feeling like he's a failure or whatever. Like there's a little bit in there, but it's not overwhelming. It doesn't try to turn itself into some like, like this is a story about like it's not that. Like my man got sucked into a pipe, bro, and like
simple as that.
Like,
I'm trying to get my fam so we can get back home. We should start this business. Man. We got to go.
We on go karts. We just So I it makes me feel like critics went in looking for it to have that kind of very Disney-esque storytelling,
what they're used to,
those kind of beats behind it. That also, even those same studios have tried to mimic what Disney has done, right? With again, but so many of those stories from the Disney's perspective are just stolen stories. They're not Disney stories. They're Little Mermaid isn't a Disney didn't make that. You know what I mean?
Tales and all that type of stuff.
Yeah. So those are, and I mean they cleaned them up because most of them are much darker than like, the Disney versions are.
The Grim Tales,
yeah, by a long shot. But I just think that formula that has worked so well for Disney for so long, anybody else who was doing animation was trying to do something that followed that kind of story. They need to go back to the basics and put out a crazy 2D, 3D animated movie. But a lot of these 3D animators are doing this getting old. When you say 2D, 3D, are you talking like Hunchback? 2D, 3D? Like that kind of thing? I mean, look, here's what I think. I don't think you're necessarily wrong. I don't have anything against the computer animation or whatever, but I think more of what we're beginning to see in stuff like Love, Death, and Robots, and more of what we're beginning to see in stuff like Star Wars Visions, where different animation styles are being shown
to Stampede.
Exactly. A much deeper mainstream public, that those kinds of animation styles for a studio can be shown that people want that and they'll accept that and they'll go to a theater and watch it, right? I mean, you got stuff in that Star Wars Vision joint that kind of looks like Chicken Run. And I'm like, I'm all in. You know what I mean? But I do think that some of that, like some traditional 2D hand-drawn animation, could still be really cool and be really good looking. And I think that what's happening with anime getting movie releases here in the US and the numbers that they're seeing of people essentially going to see what is mostly 2D hand-drawn animation, or it's not classic.
It's a combination.
It's digital.
Yeah.
But but seeing those kinds of numbers and people having an appreciation for it, what it really means is that there's a nostalgia for that. That's what you're poking at, Pert, is a nostalgia for that. A lot of kids have grown up with nothing but 3D animation, except for what they watch on Cartoon Network.
True.
And even that, there's a lot of that. If they're watching like Gumball, I don't even know how they make that show. I don't know what that show is. It's like claymation, 3D animation, live action.
But like just do everything in the bowl, shake it up, and be like, all right, this is our art style. We're just gonna go with that.
Demon Slayer doing something crazy again.
He got to be talking about the first episode. Like we said, we went to the theater. Incredible.
You're seeing, even in terms of like computer graphics, like what Arc System Works does with a Dragon Ball game, or with like what Guilty Gear does, like being able to take that and put what looks like traditional 2D animation, but it's fully 3D, and take that and do full movies, do full animated episodes using that style. It takes a lot of work to do that. The way that they make those, because they basically are creating 3D animation and having to go in and technically work in glitches that you would only see in 2D animation to make it look the way it's supposed to look instead of it just being cell shaded, so to speak.
Yeah.
So it does take a lot of work. It's probably really expensive, but it could be really dope. But I feel like more kids nowadays grow up watching anime and less of the stuff that gets put on Nickelodeon Cartoon Network because that's more kid-ish, where anime kind of leans more in the mature. Yes and no. I mean, I think that here's what I'll say. So much more of the animation that kids are watching, if they are watching Cartoon Network or Nickelodeon, those shows are taking cues from anime. The people who are doing that animation are the people like myself and Sin, and some people who are a bit younger than us, who grew up watching anime. And I don't mean just like grew up with anime on Cartoon Network. I mean like went looking for anime.
Yeah.
Right? Like my friends who are animators, when they were in school for animation, all they wanted to do was anime. And they were told by their professors, you'll never make it doing that. You can't do that. You need to draw more like Disney. That's changing. Disney is embracing stuff like this, going, hey, look at what this is, right? So, and you know, that bottle is opening up. I don't know that necessarily means that we're quite ready for Disney to take an approach like that and do a full-length feature in that style, or in a style quite like that. But we're a lot closer to it. I think there's going to be some more experimentation, things like that. And I think a lot of it's getting easier. And I think AI being involved in it is going to make it even easier than that. I think that's going to change. I think in the next 2 years, you're going to start to see stuff you've never seen before, because they're able to take things that they just didn't have. Like, they're just going to be able to do things that they weren't able to do, and they'll be able to do them in a much shorter period of time. I just think the tech is it's getting to that point where it's like, it's not even necessarily that it's easy. It's just, it can be done. Unfortunately, we don't have the Siskel and Eberts who had open minds and they went reviews and saw movies. We get critics with sticks. I mean, I'll be honest with you. Siskel and Ebert were like that too, a lot of times. I think Siskel and Ebert had definitely reviewed stuff that, like, when they would say what they had to say about it, would be like, you're tripping. But I do think a lot of times what happens with a lot of movie critics is that movie critics are also snobs. They're movie snobs, and they fall into a lot of times the same kind of things that, like, quote unquote, the Academy wants or is looking for or likes. Unreal Engine 5.2 is definitely going to make a huge difference in live action, let alone animated. But in live action, I mean, most people don't realize that what they're looking at when they watch The Mandalorian is all a video game. All those backgrounds are Unreal Engine. Like, it's almost all a video game. That's what we play. Y'all just watching it. We're playing.
We be in there.
I also think that as midland as VR is, Unreal Engine 5 is going to make a huge difference in what we see and how it feels to actually do stuff and play in VR and stuff like that. I think it's going to be, all of that's changing. It's getting late. I'm gonna wrap the show up. Josh, you want to say something about Power Rangers before I go? Because
I mean, the clip that they released, nothing crazy from it. We see our returning Rangers, Rocky and Catherine, getting their power coins back.
Who? I'm playing. I'm playing.
Just a slight explanation. You know, they're like, you know, Zordon said, you know, we could never have like multiple power coins and things going at the same time. So they kind of talked about that a little bit. And then it's immediately to the action from there. They're like, we got to go save Angel Grove. Zach hits the morphin time, and then the clip ends. So it's pretty much them gearing up to go back into action. So
did they travel through time?
Time Force, yeah. They legitimately travel through time in Time Force.
I mean, all right. Rita Repulsa is a robot now?
She's a robot. I apparently
was she always a robot? Is that like a secret thing? Like
no. So apparently this Rita may be from like a different time period, a different era potentially, because technically, because of the events of Power Rangers in Space, which kind of closed out that whole Zordon era of Power Rangers, all the villains, either depending on how they were, either became fully human and like integrated into normal society, or they were destroyed. So Rita showing up as this version is a little weird. So I need a little more explanation on that once it comes out next week.
You know what, Jokes? Who wins in a fight? Putties or the Foot Clan?
Foot Clan.
All right, just checking. It was
All right, you still my man.
one right
Foot
answer.
Clan.
Putties are dumb. Like, why would you run around with the giant Z on your chest and not know that if someone punches you in it, you're gonna disintegrate?
I mean, they're made out of clay or something. They're made out of putty.
They're putty.
No, they're made out of clay.
So so they dumb. Like, but Wonder Woman made.
You said you broke up.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman's made out of clay.
But they got Wonder Woman right.
My man said Power Rangers did it wrong. I love
Right.
it. That's how we going to show, y'all. Power Rangers did it wrong. That's how we going to show. Jokes, you got a job to do. If you would, I appreciate that. Sam, while he's doing his job, if you would do your job.
Yes, so let's highlight our top tier patrons. Starting with Anthony Cunningham, Marcus Houston, Susan Dortch, Tyrone Carson, Meticulous Skin, Alex Lee, and Ellis Mbe. Thank you very much. We truly, truly appreciate you.
No doubt. Love all of you. Greatly appreciate it. If you all would go and check out those Beacons links, you can certainly do that. Support us on Patreon. Make sure you check out the merch link. Grab your Loading Snacks versus Autism 2023 shirt. All the proceeds are being donated to the organization for autism research. So buy throughout the remainder of the month. If you happen to grab one, if you don't mind, take a picture, shoot it to us, tag it, tag us in it, or DM it to one of us or something like that. We'd love to see it. I know that we've had a huge spike in sales recently. So to everyone who has already purchased one, I just want to say thank you. It does mean the world. We do love doing things that allow us to give back to the community, because the community is who we are. So thank you for that. Sin, something special is happening like this Thursday, right?
Yeah, two things. Of course, we have Thriller Park, so we'll be there for episodes 4 through 6 of Terror in Resonance. So join us for that.
Has Perp jumped in with y'all in Thriller Park yet?
No, Perp has not jumped in yet.
Man, listen, I need you to shoot Perp a message and get my man in the Discord so he can jump in and watch Thriller Park with y'all when y'all are sitting down watching anime together.
Yeah, that'd be a great time. We got our weeklies honed in on, so I'll let everybody know what that is at some point this week. But also, season 3 of Anime Vote is coming back Thursday. Patreon members, y'all get it first, of course. After that, everybody else, y'all will get to see the first episode. But Thursday, Patreon, coming to you, season 3, episode 1, Anime Vote. Check it out. Let me know what you think. Thank you so much.
What's the first episode? What anime is it?
Devil Hunter Yoko.
Oh, digging in the crates.
Yes. I went back for this one.
Digging in the crate.
I actually have that on DVD.
Really?
I do.
Can you find it?
Maybe. There's a bin of also. Maybe.
If I still have mine, it's back there somewhere.
Oh.
Unfortunately not.
Nah, you know what? They didn't get back to us. And we don't have time. We'll be at Nerdpocalypse that weekend. So we'll be at Nerdpocalypse on the 29th of this month, and they fall on the same weekend. So we were already kind of looking at it as maybe having to split the team up and do 2 different things. Anime Ocean City has been, I guess, a little behind in getting back, and we had to make plans one way or the other. And Nerdpocalypse is like home for us. You know, it's right here in Baltimore. And Transcendent Events is family for us. So that's where we'll be. We'll be there doing Nerdpocalypse, which if you're unfamiliar, get hip.
Yes.
Nerdpocalypse, is an all-day nerd bar crawl at the Power Plant Live.
Good
yeah,
time.
it's incredible. It's incredible, and they got giant pretzels, y'all. Let me tell you something.
Oh, there's some.
Woo! Hey, Joe, you ready for the giant pretzel?
I'm ready for the giant pretzel.
Just give me them high sodium chicken fingers. That'd be good to go.
Straight up, super high sodium chicken fingers, bro. You better get some sauce with those, bro. One more thing before we slide out. Jack Black. Peaches. Go watch the music video. Just know that the song from Mario is Oscar eligible.
It's a hit.
Let's go for the Oscars.
It's not gonna win an Oscar, but
hey, as long as it gets nominated and we get to see
I don't even think it's gonna get nominated. But I'll be happy if it does.
He smoked that.
He definitely did it. He put his heart into that for some reason. Yes, giant pretzels and drinks.
Yep, drinks.
I'm ready for the specialties.
Top been quiet all night until we said pretzels and drinks. Yeah, pretzels and drinks. Let's do it. So look, again, I hope everybody had a great weekend. I hope everybody has a great weekend. Got a lot of content coming to y'all this week. Again, make sure you stay tuned for Anime Vault. For those of you who are Patreon members, second Tuesday of the month, which was today, we shoot just a little something as kind of like pre-show before we do this called Snacking and Hanging. So that'll be uploaded for you guys to check out. We owe you a question of the month for last month, and we need some suggestions for you from you for question of the month for this month. Loaded Snacks Movie Club movie of the month is The Wiz.
The Wiz.
Get it right. Not the Wizard of Oz.
The Wiz.
The Wiz.
Just The Wiz.
Get ready, because that is going to be a conversation.
That's going to be fun.
Get your details on when that's going to be happening sooner than later. All right. For myself, Gage, for Jokes, for Sin, we're ready to get out of here. Jokes, tell them what I need them to hear.
Remember, y'all, just because you have a well thought out plan doesn't make it a good idea.
With that, we're out. Toodles and lose.
Loading Snacks